1. Close enough. All right, I am here at Colorado Anime Fest right now with Pip, who is a fursuit maker, furry, and what else do you do?
I do some cosplay. Just my cosplay was not done in time.
Understand that one.
I was trying to come as Lucifer from Hasbin Hotel.
Oh.
Just his outfit with those pinstripes. That was so annoying to sew.
Oh, you just launched the microphone.
Oh
Okay.
no, claws.
Okay. What we might have to do is, let's feed the microphone back.
Consume the microphone.
Is that good? You just talk with your hands. We'll just have to watch for the microphone getting yeeted.
Yes, I am slightly Jewish, so...
Oh, I feel that. Oh, I can't tell if I'm on frame. If you scooch a little closer, I think so you're in frame still. There we go. Okay, but anyway, because what we were talking about earlier was trying to talk about fursuits.
Yes.
You were talking about how you had to refurbish your pip suit.
Yes, I did have to refurbish like 90% of it.
So it's like, what are different things like you had to do that's like different from like making an actual suit?
So a lot of it is just going over the old seams because, you know, if you don't use the right thread, like if you use a normal like cotton thread instead of like a upholstery or nylon thread, you will end up with seams pop galore.
Oh.
So, and a lot of times furries don't have those fancy machines that are called sergers, like you have on your clothes, like those seams on your clothes are serged by that machine to make sure, you know, holes are not as often to appear. So, you know, that durability is not quite the same. As well as just fur is not as durable because, you know, you have to brush this stuff and, you know, as you brush, sometimes if you brush, you know, too hard or something, it degrades the backing of your fur, which can cause tears, which was a big problem with Pip, is with his stripes, if I could find his badge.
You're almost there. There it is.
Okay, there's his badge. See how he has stripes all over his thighs and his arms? I don't know.
We can do like a post-shot edit in.
So all those stripes basically had to be resewn in because they had popped or ripped.
Oh, geez.
So I had to go honestly find secondhand fur because of how old he is. He is about 6-7 years old. So the dye lots that, you know, furs, you know, like this don't exist anymore. So I had to
really?
Yeah, I had to go track down secondhand fur to make sure it was from a similar dye lot so it would match.
Oh, jeez. That sounds like it was an arduous process.
Yeah, it was, and it's still, I haven't found an exact match for this fur on his ears. I've talked to all the makers that I know, and they're like, yeah, this fur has been discontinued since like 2020. It was discontinued.
So it also sounds like you have to like make accommodations for like the fact that different furs are discontinued, or the person who initially may have made it doesn't exist anymore as a maker. So it's kind of like, not to mention however many owners previous to yourself.
Yeah, for my awareness, I'm the 11th owner of this suit.
Yeah, and so it's like, what are some good ways to like make sure your suit doesn't get in that kind of condition? Like, what are some best practices?
Brush your suit. So there's a fine line between overbrushing, where you end up with bald spots, or underbrushing, where the fur, because of, you know, high friction areas like your armpits, your crotch, that also just heat up, you're going to get nasty, fried fur. And also clean your suits a lot. Clean them after conventions. I know a couple people that only spray their suits with fursuit spray and nothing else.
Ooh. I can imagine that can get pretty gross after a while.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you just do the bare minimum.
Yeah. I'm personally religious about cleaning my suits after conventions. Like after this, Pip's head is going to be cleaned to high heavens.
No, I can imagine. So it's like, I guess we're kind of going into your origins
Yeah.
now. Like, how did you get started in the furry community?
Way back in middle school, in 6th grade, I was constantly called a furry and was like, what is that? Because, you know, spring child, don't know what anything is on the internet, because I was kind of at that cusp of where kids were on the internet and were not on the internet kind
Oh,
of
okay.
situation. So I went on my mom's computer and Googled, what's a furry?
Oh no! Did you have safe search on?
Yes. It was on this app called Kidzooey.
I haven't even heard of that one.
I do not know where my mom found it, but it was like a kids Googling engine.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of filtered out all the bad things, and
Oh, that actually probably helped a lot.
and especially back then, we didn't have so much of all this like clickbait stuff where, you know, Elsa and Spider-Man play with Play-Doh, like that weird
Oh
stuff.
yeah, we don't have like there wasn't as much of the content farm weird stuff.
Yeah, so I remember watching Simpson the cat, you know, that little white cat a lot. So yeah, it was kind of like that, but just a kid's Googling engine. And I looked up what a furry was and gave like the classic, a furry is an anthropomorphized animal character or object that is not, you know, like
Right.
anthropomorphize this chair I'm sitting on.
Yeah, it's
It gives human characters to a non-human thing.
right. So, brain, where did you go?
It went into the void.
Oh yeah, it goes into the void all the damn time.
I just look like I'm usually looking into the void.
Helps when
because
you have
of
those eyes that just stare.
Yeah, these are called follow me eyes.
Yeah, those which are really cool because it's like even though they are stationary, like depending on the angle you're looking at.
Yeah, it
it
can
always-
be. It's kind of funny when I store him. He is on a shelf above my bed,
Oh god.
and his eyes glow in the dark.
Oh, that is cool.
It is very cool, but it can scare the ever-living heck out of me in the middle of the night.
I can imagine that.
Or if I put it on top of my dog's kennel, once again, my brain's like, what the heck is glowing at me?
I feel that. I guess another question too is like, how did you get from just like going from hi innocent child looking for furries to now also like going into making and refurbishing and doing potentially commissions and whatnot?
I personally do not take commissions. I used to when I was younger, but I've just found with my ADHD and, you know, life, I can't stay up to, you know, standards with whips and such, because I could go from like making a suit like crazy within a week to not working on a suit for 6 months. So I mostly only do pre-mades or personal suits or suits for my friends that understand, you know, my brain does not work like normal. But back in, I would say 2016 is when I made my first fursuit, and it kind of just sparked a creative, you know, spark. Did I almost eat my
No, you're good. I was checking the time.
Okay. Start that creative spark, and it kind of just went from there. And just with this suit, the reason why I'm so determined to refurbish it, it just means a lot to me, because it was like the first suit I really bonded to at my first con in 2019, which was Denim Fur, where I was basically, you know, threw into the deep end. I had only received my first suit 2 weeks before the con, and it was destroyed. They destroyed it, so it was being a furry is a lot of fun, but it's expensive. It's not a cheap hobby.
I can imagine. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna check camera. But yeah, so you went to your first convention. How was it like going from like, I'm assuming probably not going to any conventions, or at least to going to your first furry convention?
I kind of went in blind, honestly. I have not gone to any, you know, conventions I could remember. My mom took me to a couple Star Trek conventions when I was really small, but I could not remember those,
So,
honestly.
so it was kind of like a good culture shock of being like, holy crap, there are animals walking everywhere.
Yeah, kind of. I was in this, honestly, kind of crummy griffin suit for my first convention, and don't get a full suit as your first suit. You will die slowly.
Yeah, because you have to be able to have fans to regulate heat, take them off every once in a while, or like other different variations of
And
suits.
especially, I honestly wasn't used to how hot they got so fast. You know, how hot they got. I was not prepared for that. So the first day when I was full suiting, I was honestly pretty miserable because I was too hot and I didn't understand that it's okay to go take breaks because
Oh, you just like head first in the deep end.
yeah, it just was, my brain thought, okay, these people do this for hours on end in these big fursuits, and so it's going to be easy. It's not easy. Even now, I have a lot of heat issues. Even when I have a cooling vest on, I have my little fan, and I'm all like ready to go. It still can get unbearably hot.
So it's kind of like a big thing here is just like kind of pace yourself, understand,
Yeah,
or
and-
try to understand where your limits are.
Yeah. And especially with heat exhaustion. That's a big thing.
And stay hydrated.
Oh yeah, I have a water bottle in my backpack.
Yeah. So I guess we'll lead into like what is your recommendation for like any other recommendations you have for first time suitors or people who want to get into fursuiting and whatnot.
Honestly, I would say start small. So I would say don't get a fursuit when you first get into fandom. Being a furry doesn't mean you have to have a fursuit. These things are expensive pieces of art. And it's a lot to maintain, and if you're not used to it, it's just hard. So I would say maybe get a pair of ears and a tail so you have something and you can, still feel kind of hard, but you're not killing your pocketbook or killing yourself.
Right.
And if you do find that you enjoy, the furry fandom and you do want to end up with a suit, I would say, once again, start small, only get like a head, paws, tail, so you're not rushing yourself. I would only recommend getting a full suit after a year being in the fandom or more, with experience of being in suits.
Yeah, because it's a lot all at once.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow, I'm going to be wearing my first cosplay.
Yeah.
And even that's its own process. Like people don't realize like.
I'm scared of those wigs still.
Because there's wigs. Because I'm also a haunt actor, so I understand
Yeah.
at least some of the basics. It's like being under the makeup for hours on end.
Making sure it doesn't melt, which is a whole nother ball of wax.
Yeah, and but there's a lot of similarities of like just make sure like don't like overexert yourself. Understand there's going to be like some issues to start with, and you'll figure out the kinks as you get through it.
Yeah.
Let's see. What are you kind of like up to right now? Like, are you making anything? Are you working on any projects?
I'm currently working on a pre-made because I just moved recently and I have realized I have way too much for my own good. So I'm trying to shrink down my little fur supplies. And also I'm working on fixing Pip's bodysuit because his whole bodysuit was unusable. It was so dirty and like falling apart. At least at this point it's clean and mostly put together. I'm working on finishing up his feet. So hopefully when I go to Anticon in July, I will be in his full plush suit, which is a whole nother genre of like fursuits.
Oh, so, wait, Pip is a flesh suit, not a...
No, whole plush.
Plush. I heard flesh.
No, oh my god, I've seen those. Those are kind of scary. No, plush, like a plushie.
No, I got you. I just misheard it.
You're fine. So I'm going to be walking around with like at least 10 pounds of, polyfill on me.
Oh, yeah, those things get huge.
Yeah, he is huge, and he's not exactly meant for a small person like me, so it's even worse.
Oh, so you also have to make adjustments for your own size.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I'm pretty short. Suits are
That's-
not really made for my size.
All right, and I think we'll finish it off with where can people find you if they want to follow you on social media or if you have any?
Yeah, you can usually find me on Instagram at milk and hip, or on Twitter, which I don't use as much because, well, X, whatever.
We can dead name Twitter.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to detonate it, but I'm not usually as active on there because honestly, there's just way too much drama.
Oh, no, I understand that completely, but otherwise just milk_n_pip, right?
No, it's actually.
Or is it not underscore?
It is
They put
underscore.
underscores.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it is underscored.
Yeah, underscore pip. But Twitter is called milkshake_mama.
Okay.
That is kind of the name of my main persona, but Fursuit is under the weather because someone threw her at me and I didn't catch her right.
Oh shit.
And her muzzle ripped.
Oh.
So there's no saving that suit. 2.0 time.
Oh, have fun with that one, and thank you so much for sitting down with
You're
me for this
welcome.
interview. It has been a pleasure, and enjoy the rest of COAF.
I shall. Hopefully I will not die of heat exhaustion.
Hopefully not. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Sway so they can hear us, probably stick it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, it's magnetized. I didn't realize.
The tongue is magnetized.
Oh shit. Okay.
That may be actually a little help when you keep it.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll screw with the audio.